Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. For the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. For the viewers, thank you for clicking this video. So in today's video guys, I'm going to be breaking down this specific entry model right here that is basically easier than the ICT concepts, right? And this model is called the SDI stop loss model, right? Now this SDI stop loss model is something that I founded, right? So it's not like a strategy that I actually created, right? Because already market has already been moving for weeks and years, right? As you can see, right, literally the market has been moving for weeks and years, and I was not the one that created this strategy, but I would say I was the one that founded it because I was the one that opened my eyes to see this specific pattern play out every single time, right? So now to break down this SDI model, essentially it just means number one, price giving you a doji candle, right? Then number two, price giving you a shooting star entry. Now once that shooting star entry happens, right, then your stop loss should be 3 pips below the doji body or directly under the doji wick. Very simple, right? So to break this down, I'm literally going to use a specific trade I took today, right? So I actually took this trade in my signal group, right? As you can see, these are two back-to-back trades I took, right? Boom and then boom, right? All buy trades. So essentially guys, let me break this down from A to Z by literally starting all the way from, let's say, right here, right? So boom. And I'm going to clear my screen like this, right? So now basically to start off, I always start from the daily time frame to mark my area of interest. And essentially guys, my area of interest just means places where price has shown a clear break and retest zones, right? So something like this, boom, like that. That's basically what the area of interest is. So in this case here in the daily time frame, the closest area of interest I can see is going to be right here, boom, right? As you can see, an clear break of retest, boom, color coded. And then the next area of interest I see is going to be right directly under this candle right here, boom, right, boom, like that. And then the last one is going to be right here, as you can see. Right, so these are basically the 3 area of interest I see on the daily time frame. Now the next step is now to go to the 1 hour time frame to look for your area of interest again, right? So in this case here, as you can see, there was a gap right here. So this gap is basically an area of interest because if you notice, price did, you know what I mean, retrace, tested here, and then I bought up and then came back here again. I gave 2 back-to-back shooting star entries. So in this case here, this would be an area of interest that I actually did mark up in my previous videos. So now when price gave us this 2 shooting back-to-back candles, basically all I did was buy, right, stop loss literally below this candle right here. Now if you look at this specific candle here, you're going to see on the left hand side, you can clearly see a doji candle, right? So you can see 2 dojis, this doji and then this doji right here, right? Now notice how price literally came and took out that doji's low, boom. When price took out that doji's low, that's literally liquidity that was at the bottom, right? So that's basically liquidity right there. So if I was to do this, you can clearly see that price had a doji candle right here, 2 doji candles. It's bought up, came back to now take those highs, right? I mean, take those lows, as you can see. So when price took out those lows, then this was your entry. This was a shooting star entry. You can literally put your stop loss right below that doji candle right there, right? So in this case here, I actually did not enter here, and I actually entered right on this candle right here. So you can see price actually closed above here, but if you notice, price came back to retrace here, right? So this was like literally where I entered, somewhere around here, and then literally now my stop loss, like I told you guys, is either below this body candle right here, right, or below this body right here. I mean below the wick. So in this case, I actually put my stop loss below the wick, right? Because like I said, this is like a more of a signal group, so I don't want to, you know what I mean, jeopardize people's accounts, right? So it was a very simple 1 to 2 risk reward, and then my TP was somewhere around, like let's just say here, as you can see, right? So boom, if I pull back the join, you're gonna see everything is back to normal. So as you can see, liquidity has been taken, and then if we play the market, you're gonna see how price just simply buys up, right? Boom, that's simple, right? That's literally how fast price actually, you know what I mean, went to our TP literally in like 2 hours. As you can see, it now gave 3 back-to-back candles. Now when this happened guys, I literally turned off my computer and I was done for the day, right? So this was basically a 1 to 2 risk reward. Now as you can see, in this specific case here, price was actually still bearish. How is it still bearish? Because in my ebook, I literally tell you guys, whenever you're looking for, you know what I mean, the trend, or like trying to understand what the trend is, you have to understand what pivot points are. And essentially, guys, pivot points are basically what you use to determine, you know what I mean, the trend and, you know what I mean, the low of the market or the high of the market. So in this case right here, in this Owanda, right, we actually use Owanda's chart, but essentially, guys, this low right here was the pivot point, right? Because this low created this high, right? So in this case here, price was like this. So this is basically what happened here. Boom, right? Price broke below this previous low. Once it broke below the previous low, it retraced up and then now sold, right? That's basically what happened. So in this case here, that's basically what happened here, where price now came to this area of interest. Now, the reason I actually took this entry was because price actually gave me a reversal pattern, right? So in my ebook, I literally give you guys reversal patterns that you must actually follow, like specific candles that you can actually follow whenever you're looking for a reversal. So in this case here, this was literally 2 back-to-back shooting stars, and as you can see in this ebook, you can see 2 back-to-back shooting stars right here, right? So that's basically why I entered, and as you can see, I had a very simple 1 to 2 risk to reward. Now in this case here, I would have actually taken a sell again. Why? Because if you notice, the trend is still buys, sorry, the trend is still sells. So in this case here, price actually gave an entry. So as you can see, 2 back-to-back shooting star entries. Now this 2 back-to-back shooting star entries is very valid, but I actually did not trust this. So I actually trust this specific candle right here, because this was actually a very much more bigger shooting star candle, right? So boom, price now does this. It gives this specific, you know, shooting star. Now look at what happens. Look at what happens here. Now notice this. Price now comes, right, creates like an area of interest right here. Right, as you can see, price has been resisting, right, for a couple of hours. Now price gives this doji candle here. Now this doji candle that's giving, this basically means liquidity is literally above this area and below this area. So boom, we now do this. So there's literally liquidity above this area right here, right? So in this case, literally price came, took out that liquidity, then gave you literally a solid, you know what I mean, bearish engulfing. Now again, in my ebook, I literally tell you guys that when it comes to reversals, what happens? Then a engulfing candle with no wicks, right? So in this specific chart with Owanda, price literally gave you a specific bearish engulfing candle with no wicks, and price now literally took out, you know what I mean, liquidity. So in this case here, boom, you would have literally taken your trade right there and then literally, you know what I mean, sold very easily. Now in this case here, guys, I actually did not take or partake in this trade, so I'm going to skip this. So in this case, as you can see, price literally sold down beautifully, right? So this would have been a good trade, but I actually did not take this. So if you notice, guys, I was literally trading during the New York session, right? So this specific trade here was during the New York session around 9 o'clock. Now, as you can see, boom, price now, guess what it does? It literally comes right close to this specific low here, right? But does not break or closes lower. And guess what it does? It literally now buys up here. So in this case here, price now was buying, it now finally bought up, right? So when price was here, it was still bearish, right? Because this low that was created, this was the high that price needed to break for this, you know what I mean, trend to change from sells to buys, right? Because again, to explain to you guys, when price is buying up, you have to understand the pivot point. So this is the previous low that price needs to break for the trend that has already been happening, right? So something like this that's already been happening to change from buys to sells. So in this case, price now breaks the previous low and then it now retraced, right? Now it's meant to continue the trend down, like basically like this, right? It's meant to continue the trend like this, boom, and then continue selling. But in this case here, price did not actually do that, right? It literally just came from here, gave you another like reversal pattern, which I will show you again, and then now bought up like this, and then now finally broke this previous high, because this low right here, right? So this low right here, right, was created by this high. Now you cannot use this high here because this high created this low, but this low was not actually a low because it did not break this previous low. So this is basically like a, you know, a higher low technically speaking, but this is basically like invalid. This is nothing, right? So this and this is nothing, but this right here and this is what you should be looking out for, because price is literally playing inside that range. Basically, like if I draw this line, like that, price was basically dancing in that range until price now finally broke, right? Like that, it now broke up and then retraced down to now continue buying up. So this is basically how you look at the chart, right? So in this case here, notice again, with this specific trade that happened here, this was literally like an evening star, essentially. And as you can see, this was like a shooting star, and then this big bullish candle, right? Which makes an evening star. So in this case here, boom, price now buys up. I did not partake in this. And then literally, guys, I was literally watching this happen, right? And I was like, damn, like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. I'm missing out on the trade. Oh my God. But guy, guess what? Like, literally price retraced back down, right? So in this specific case here, there was actually news around 10 o'clock, right? So now notice this. This is a doji candle. What does that mean? It means that there's liquidity right there. So let's remove this. As you can see, right? These are like two doji candles. So I literally put this as liquidity. Boom. Right? So there's literally liquidity at the bottom right there. Boom. So in this case here, right? Literally, guys, there was news coming up around 10. So this was like a very good, you know what I mean, sell to the downside. But in this case, I actually did not partake in this trade. So all I did was wait for price to take out this liquidity and then give me an entry, right? So in this case here, if I was to do this, boom, and I buy it, you can see that price literally took out that liquidity, right? It literally took it out, right? So literally, it took it out right there. Oh, stop. So it literally took out that liquidity, boom. Right? So when price took out that liquidity there, I literally said, oh shit, okay, cool. Bet. You feel me? I'm going to enter right now. So basically what I did was, again with the SDI stop loss model, essentially it just means price, you know what I mean, placing your stop loss literally below the doji candle right there, right? So in this case here, I literally placed my entry right here. And in this case, because price already took out this liquidity here, I already anticipated that price will literally not even, you know what I mean, come close to this area here. So I literally just bought right there, boom, right? And then my stop loss was literally right there. Literally, I wish I could just zoom out, right? So literally my stop loss was like right there. Somewhere around here, right? On this candle, right? Okay, I don't know why what happened, but basically I bought and then stop loss was literally right there. TP somewhere around here. Okay, I don't know what's happening, but yeah, I basically bought and then like that, and then it literally, you know what I mean, I bought up and then price bought up actually. So I was actually in profit in this specific trade here, right? So this was my stop loss. So I was actually in profit and my TP was somewhere around here. But guys, I unfortunately, like, you know what I mean, put my TP my stop loss to like 1-to-1, and then, you know, price now then, you know what I mean, sold essentially right there. So this is basically how I actually came out of the trade. So I actually pulled out for a 1-to-1 risk to reward, right? But essentially, guys, this is how you would be able to take trades like this using what we call the SDI stop loss model, right? And like I told you guys, I did not create this model, but I did find it, right? You have never heard anyone talk about this, guys. I was the first person to create this shit. You feel me? So again, not created, but found it. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, guys, you know, I mean, comment down below. If you want me to make some videos, give me some suggestions, guys. I'll see you guys in a different video. Peace.